If gold has been around for 5,000 years and currently has a market cap of about $7.5 trillion, and Bitcoin has been around for only 10 years and currently has a market cap of $200 or so billion, what is the market cap of Bitcoin going to be and cryptocurrency going to be if it was given even 100 years, let alone 5,000 years, being a fundamentally superior technology in nearly every shape and form, from security to storage to transmission to transaction costs, etc.? I'll leave that answer for you guys. Hello, everyone. My name's Colin, and this is Colin Talks Crypto. Thank you very much for joining me. And thank you very much for watching my last episode of Gold vs. Bitcoin, episode number 1. This is episode number 2, and we're going to jump off from where we left off, answer some questions, and introduce you to some new solutions. If you haven't watched episode 1 already, I highly recommend you do. And with that being said, let's get started. All right, I'd like to start off by acknowledging that gold does have a place. I realize that I may have rubbed some gold bugs the wrong way, and I will always speak it from the heart and tell you how I really feel about something, but I don't feel like I shared enough positive qualities of gold and silver. And so I'm going to start this video on that note. And I made a little list here of some strengths of gold and silver in relation to Bitcoin. And this is me playing devil's advocate, because I don't want to be all negative. I want to be positive as well. Number 1, gold and silver are vastly superior to fiat, which is inflationary and debt-based. Number 2, gold and silver are currently less volatile than Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Number 3, gold and silver have a longer history of confidence, thousands of years, versus Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, 10 years and less. So gold does have a place. And I want to clarify that I don't think that gold and silver are bad assets by any means. I think that if you can buy them, this is the big if you can buy them for spot price or close to spot price, then by all means, gold and silver make an amazing addition to one's portfolio for diversification purposes. Because like myself, I was very heavy in cryptocurrency, and that's not really healthy. Even if you are absolutely sure as you can be, that cryptocurrency is not going away, that it is the future, that it is technologically superior in almost every single way, which I do believe all of those things. A black swan event is an unseen circumstance. You cannot expect it to have happened. And that could happen to any asset class. A black swan event could happen to gold and silver like it did last century, where the United States confiscated gold. You could have a black swan event in cryptocurrency where you could have an EMP or some shutdown of internet, or the United States banning it outright, which I think would have a temporary slowdown, but it nonetheless would be a black swan event. So any asset class can have a black swan event. And for that reason, I think that it is smart to diversify one's assets, no matter how certain one is about the asset that they are most in favor of. So I think that gold and silver inherently as assets, they've had a place in history for thousands of years. That's not to say that they haven't been superseded in many of their aspects. I would say 90+% of their qualities and features by Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But again, I like them. I'm not bashing them. I just am calling a spade a spade. If I see something that has more superior qualities and more fundamentals lined up in a solid manner, I'm going to tell you guys about that. And that's what I see with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So I love gold and silver. They've gotten us to where we are. They've offered us an alternative to abused currencies, inflated fiat, all that nonsense, debt-based currencies, all the insanity that's going on with our country right now. And obviously, all the different civilizations that have used gold and silver in the past have relied upon it for good reason, because you can't just print it into thin air. Again, it does have such a long incumbency, such a long history, and it has done so much good. And I don't mean to detract from any of that in this video. All I mean to do is to correctly put it in perspective as of today, 2020, not as living in the past, stuck onto something that maybe has been superseded by something more superior. So with that being said, I wanted to just acknowledge all those positive qualities of gold and silver. It's vastly superior to fiat. It's definitely less volatile than Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, especially altcoins, and it has a much longer history. And those things are all very true. Now, in my opinion, the witnessing of Bitcoin was the turning point of the first time in all those thousands of years where we actually truly have something better. Now we're going to get into some viewer comments. A lot of you guys got what I was saying. This guy got it. He said, so my silver I just bought has to go up 26% in order to break even on my investment? What? And that's exactly the point I was trying to make. Now, I'm going to show you something that backs that up. And then I'm also going to show you that this is not just right now that that's the case, but even in times of non-recessions, there is still an insane markup on precious metals. So first of all, if we go to upma.org, this is the United Precious Metals Association. I'm going to zoom in here and read you the first sentence from this website. Normally, when you go into a coin store and purchase $5,000 worth of silver coins, it can only be sold back to the store for $4,200 the instant you walk out the door. The bullion premium is the extra merchant price associated with an antiquated physical asset because of all the physical qualities associated with it. You have to verify it, you have to handle it, ship it, store it, guard it, count it. All those things add up to this bullion premium, and then the merchant, of course, can add on whatever he wants on top of that. But with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, you're basically just paying the trading fee. So that's just whatever the merchant, whatever the exchange wants to charge you for the transaction. But there's no huge bullion premium or Bitcoin premium because it's not a physical asset. So you don't have to handle it. You don't have to count it. You don't have to have some expensive storage method, et cetera, et cetera. And that is what makes up the bullion premium. And that's why, among many factors, I would consider gold and silver to be an older legacy and I think increasingly antiquated asset. As hard as that is for gold bugs to hear, that's the truth. And for those people who said I bought at the wrong time and during non-recession periods, the markup's not so bad, I read you this. Even during the best market conditions, you're going to lose about 4% to 16% on the markup, which is still way higher than the exchange fee for the purchase and sale of Bitcoin, which can be lower than 0.5%. I know because I just did some Bitcoin transactions. I paid 0.5%. And gold has, in normal non-recession times, a markup, a bullion premium of 4%. And silver has between 16 and 20%. So anyone who's trying to defend precious metals saying that they're not that expensive during normal times, that's not true. They always have a markup that is bigger than Bitcoin. They just have an even more exorbitant markup during times of low supply and recession. So right now, instead of 4% for gold and 16% for silver, it's like 9% bullion premium for gold and 26% bullion premium for silver. And that is what I didn't like, because depression or not with Bitcoin, you just pay the market price, which again is decided by supply and demand, just like the spot price of gold and silver is decided by supply and demand. It's just that Bitcoin doesn't have a bullion premium tacked on top of it. And that's exactly what the United Precious Metals Association summed up so eloquently in their very first sentence here. Normally, when you go into a coin store and purchase $5,000 worth of silver coins, it can only be sold back to the store for $4,200 the instant you walk out the door. That's simply not true for Bitcoin. If I buy $5,000 of Bitcoin, I might have $4,950 because of the 1% or 0.5% trading fee. And then I walk out the door and I try to sell it back. I get $4,950. So it is not the same for Bitcoin that it is for gold and silver. Sure, one can say that gold is meant to be held for a long time and not sold. But even so, this still means that with gold and silver, your starting position is below the price you paid, and you have a higher distance to climb price-wise before you simply break even. I think I'm really noticing the differences in gold and Bitcoin because I'm coming from the more modern crypto world and going back to a more legacy asset. Many old school gold holders have begun by buying gold and silver, so to them this markup is normal. Also, one thing I want you to be aware of is that any gold or silver merchant, any bullion provider, if they're telling you, come buy gold, come buy silver, realize that they are buying it at spot price from those people who sell it on their site to them. They're getting the spot price. When you go to their site and you're encouraged to buy gold or silver, you're not getting the spot price. You're getting the spot price plus the bullion premium, which can be as high as 26%, as in my case. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate that I think that gold and silver inherently as assets do have a place in a portfolio for diversification. So I am not bashing gold and silver. I am just merely stating that the bullion premium is pretty ridiculous. Okay, I think I've beaten that horse to death now. And for the next part of the video, the last part of the video, I'm going to share with you something that other users shared with me. And I got a lot of comments on this. I was actually surprised how many times this came up. African American Homeland said, try PAXOS Gold. Francesco Gotti said, what do you think of Pax Gold? And I kept hearing about this. User Amcaro explained to me, Colin, do you know about PAXG? It's the best way to diversify into gold that I can find. Paxos.com. It's a gold-backed crypto Ethereum token. Each token is worth the price of 1 ounce of gold and actually represents a piece of allocated gold bar stored in Brink's vault in London. It is also, as far as I can tell, to have the lowest fees to buy and sell. It's easy to store on your Trezor or your Ledger if you want. That's a key point there. And redeemable in USD or actual underlying gold. Really cool way to own real gold for diversification for us crypto dudes. So all these users talking to me about Pax Gold had me look into it. And this is what I found out. And I like what I see here, guys. I think that Pax Gold is probably the best way to store and buy gold on the internet. About Pax Gold. Pax Gold, PAXG, is a digital asset where one token is backed by 1 fine troy ounce of a 400-ounce London Good delivery gold bar stored in Brink's gold vaults. Anyone who owns PAXG owns the underlying physical gold, held in custody by Paxos Trust Company. It's worth noting that Brink's is a reputable gold and silver precious metals storage company, and other gold and silver dealers use them, so this is a good sign to me. So this is interesting. We have an ERC-20 token. This is an Ethereum-based token. So what this means is that if you buy a Pax Gold token, you are essentially storing an ounce of gold wherever you put that token, which could include your Ledger Nano S hardware wallet or your Trezor. And I really like that. That means that I'm holding the claim to the gold in the vault, which is no different than any of these bullion dealers. If you go to silver.com or buygold.com or whatever these websites are, if you buy some gold and you have it sent to a Brink's storage location or any kind of secure vault, it's the exact same as this. You're not holding the precious metals in your hand. And so you're holding a claim of ownership to the gold or silver in the vault. Same exact situation, except it's tokenized. So Pax Gold is tokenized gold, and I like that a lot. And here's the real clincher. The difference in spot price between gold, $1,670, is the exact same price, within $1 of Pax Gold. There is no insane markup on Pax Gold, as there was with these bullion dealers online. So there's a big savings here when buying the token versus buying it through an online dealer. And the one question I don't have answered is, how do they save this much money? Because you would think that because they're storing it in the same manner, they would require the same costs and overheads, minus the website and minus maybe the markup that the bullion dealers have. But you would think that there is some overhead, but I'm not seeing any overhead. I'm seeing that the spot price is basically identical to the gold price. And so I love it. I would like a better understanding of how that could be possible, because there is a storage cost to storing in a vault. There is a bit of a cost to do that. So how are they accounting for that in the token? I'd like to know. If you guys know, please explain to me in the comments below. And here's another thing that I want to share is that it doesn't have that many exchanges, but it's enough to be used, I think. I only could find 9 exchanges on CoinMarketCap.com, and some of the bigger ones are BitHum. I've never heard of Triv Pro, but Kraken is a very reputable one. I would stand by Kraken. And there's HitBTC and FTX. So if I was going to buy some PAXG, I personally would do it from Kraken. Being in the United States, that's an exchange I can use. I don't think I can use BitHum in the USA. And okay volumes, could be better though, pretty low, 70,000. So just be aware that it's limited exchanges and a little bit limited in its trading volume as well. But I'm willing to bet that it's listed on more exchanges than this, like decentralized exchanges. Because if we go back to the fact that PAXG is an ERC-20 token, any decentralized Ethereum exchange would be able to trade PAXG. So I bet you it's more than this. So I'm still researching PAXG and looking into it, but from what I see so far, it looks solid. and it looks like what I will be using during my next cash out plan as my gold asset, because I'm not going to be paying Bullion premiums when I want to cash out. But I would like to diversify a little bit into gold and silver at the next market top for cryptocurrency. And so I see PAXG as being one of the best options that I currently see. Gold and silver have been around for thousands of years, between 2,000 and 5,000 years, however you want to count it. As early as the Egyptians, right? Way back. And that's awesome. And that's a pro and a con. And it's a pro, obviously, because that means that it's in circulation, it's got liquidity, it's readily available, it's widely distributed, and it just has had its time to seep its way into all corners of the planet. And that's an obvious pro. So you might be asking yourself, how is there any con to gold or silver in relation to how long it's been around? Well, it's more like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency has been around for so short of a period of time. That is the pro, because it's only been around for 10 years. So if gold has a market cap right now of about $7.5 trillion, and it took 5,000 years to get there, and Bitcoin's been around for 10 years, that just goes to show me how much money has a chance to move into Bitcoin if it was given 5,000 years. Can you imagine if Bitcoin or cryptocurrency has been around for 5,000 years? I guarantee you, with its stronger fundamentals, it's going to be worth extremely more than $7.5 trillion, especially with inflation making the purchasing power of each dollar worth less and less. But even that being accounted for, you give Bitcoin or cryptocurrency 100 years, not even 5,000 years, and I guarantee you the value of cryptocurrency is going to be grossly greater than the 7 trillion that gold managed to grow to over the past 5,000 years. Just put that in perspective, guys. We are at the tip of the iceberg. We are still early adopters. If this is what I think it is, if this is the future that I see Bitcoin and cryptocurrency having, it's going to be around for a very long time. Maybe it won't be Bitcoin. It'll be Bitcoin Cash, or it'll be Ethereum, or it'll be some new token that has not yet been created. But you cannot put the crypto genie back in the bottle. So I'm here for the long ride. I'm here early, and I'm riding this to the top. And in the next decades to come, I think we are going to see an enormous amount of value flood into the likes of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and its descendants. All right, guys, have a great day. Please share this video, please subscribe, and please like. I'll talk to you again soon.